Hello, everyone. Let's discuss the ego. I'm sure we've heard of it, I must die to the ego. I must kill the ego, blah, blah, blah. Ad nauseum, we speak of the ego. But the ego, in fact, belongs to the body. And the body is a culmination of all the habits that make you, you. What are habits? Habits are thoughts, feelings, or actions that you continually partake of consistently, repeatedly, day in and day out, to the point that it becomes invisible. Oh, yes. Habits become invisible once they've taken root. Now, when you want to change a habit, a wise man once said, the chains of habit are too light to be felt until it is time to change them. What does that mean? Listen to it again. The chains of habit are too light to be felt until it is time to change them. It means you don't even know the habit is there because it is second nature. It is like breathing to you. Yes. But when you look at it and you say, I don't want that in my life and I want to change it, the habit rears its head and says, do you really want to change me? Do you think anybody's listening to you anyway? Oh, you think you're better than someone? Oh, you're the bomb, are you? Really? Look at you. Nobody thinks you're beautiful. Nobody thinks this about you. Nobody thinks that about you. Or your ego can say things like, you know you are the best, right? Nobody's got nothing on you. And then when you start to hear those things, you start to feel a little bit guilty. You start to feel a little bit, oh no, should I be thinking like that? Well, I will say this to you again. The ego is a culmination of habits that you've created over your lifetime. What is a habit? A habit is a thought, action, or feeling that you repetitively and consistently do. So much so that it becomes second nature. That is a habit. That is how one creates a habit. So then if you're looking upon a habit, whether the habit is good, bad, or indifferent, helpful or not, the habit is there. Thereby the ego is there. The ego is neither friend nor foe. It just simply depends on what you recognize it to be. If the thing you want to change is not helping you, well then it cannot be your friend. So how does one make a new habit? By consistently and repetitively doing the same action, thought, or feeling over and over and over and over again until it becomes second nature and it retreats into the background like an open computer window that's just running. Oh, yes. So you see, the ego is neither friend nor foe. It is simply a habit. Now that you know the ego is a habit, what are you going to do? Will you fall prey to it? Or will you control it the way you know how? You see, habits don't go away. You can override one habit with another. But the minute you put your attention on the old habit, you breathe new life into it again and there it comes. So, perhaps we should practice looking at the ego as simply something we have created. It is neither friend nor foe. It is simply a culmination of habits. And if you see something that you do not like in your life, then consistently do or look at or give your attention to the thing you want in your life. To change a habit, you cannot be looking at the new habit and complaining, this is so hard, this is so challenging. Why must it take so long? I'll tell you something a great man said to me. Yes, Cain, I do consider you a great man. He said, time. So, effort, let me say it right. Time multiplied by effort equals gain. Time multiplied by effort equals gain. Well, we all know what time is, don't we? Tick, tock, tick, tick-tock. We know what time is. But what is the effort? The effort is the continued and consistent redirecting of your mind to where you want to put it. Whatever that behavior is, whatever that thought is, where you want it to be, put your mind on it over and over and over again. And what happens? Well, then you gain the new thing that you are creating. Time multiplied by effort equals gain. So, let us not be overwhelmed by the ego. The ego is simply something we created. If you created it, you can recreate it. There is where your power lies. Oh, yes, indeed, my friends. There is where your power lies. You can recreate whatever it is you are unhappy with. You just simply, get to be consistent and focused. That's it. Now, let us go forth into the world and stop thinking about the ego and giving the ego so much clout and power over us. We are not subject to the ego. The ego is subject to us. You can't kill it because then you'd be dead. Do you understand? The ego is part of you and is comprised of all the habits that you have. So create a habit that reinforces instead of sabotage. I trust that made sense. I do trust it made sense. Much love.